powerful man in the world, okay, that my political opponents should be executed, should be hung, should die because they're reminding members of our military the oath that they took to uphold the Constitution. Now, by the way, I know in response, you're going to completely ignore the president threatening people with death over what they say. You're going to completely
should be punished
ignore
with death. I agree with him.
Okay, so describe to me how these 7 Democrats engaged in treason.
However, I want to get
describe
back
to me how these 7 Democrats
point.
engaged in treason, please.
They were telling the military to ignore orders.
Which kind of orders?
But unlawful orders. Wait, unlawful.
That's treason.
Orders.
Unlawful according to who?
Wait, do you
Show
think
me the
not
ruling.
following? Wait, do you think
Was
not
there a
following
ruling?
an unlawful order is treason?
What's the ruling?
Do you think not following an unlawful order is treason?
Show me it's unlawful.
But they didn't specify. They didn't specify an order in what they said.
No, it's not unlawful.
All that they said in the video was if Trump were to give you an unlawful order, you don't have to follow it. What is treasonous about saying that if Trump were to give you an unlawful order, you don't have to follow it? Explain to us all how that's treasonous.
They're insinuating during the timing of the video released to act on the most recent given order. That's obvious. I want to go back to speech.
No, I want you to stick on this topic, and I want you to defend this position.
This is the topic.
We'll go back. We'll go back in a minute. But I just want you to defend your position here, as it would relate to the 7 Democrats that he called for the execution of in Congress. You can't just make like an offhand, sly comment super quickly that the president was justified in calling for the execution of 7 Democrats in Congress, and then want us to just quickly move on or go back to this other thing that we discussed.
What
prior.
has every
we will
single
happily
country
go back
throughout
to the thing that we did prior. The moment that we're done talking about this. Now, in response, me and Parker asked you what was treasonous about what the 7 Democrats in Congress said that in your mind justifies the president calling for their execution, and you said, well, they were insinuating that the president was giving illegal orders because they reminded members of the military that if they are given illegal orders, then they don't have to follow them. Well, therefore, you would argue that the oath that members of our military take when joining the military on its own is treasonous because it tells them exactly what the congressmen and women told them. If the president gives you an illegal order, you don't have to follow it. So therefore, the oath that every person who joins our military takes is always insinuating that the president actually is giving illegal orders when they're not. Therefore, the oath in of itself, in accordance with your logic, is treasonous. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was muted. I didn't notice.
We could also ask him if he thinks Mike Pence engaged in treason.
From when? The first presidency or no?
Yeah, the first presidency.
No, I don't believe so.
But
With the 7 Democrats, yes, I believe calling for the military to go against the actions of the commander-in-chief is treasonous, as would be defined by any country throughout the history of time.
What Mike Pence did?
This guy's
throughout the history of time. I want to go to my original point, which you keep
don't
run away from.
You don't run away.
You are running. Isn't that what Mike Pence did?
Yeah. Also, please don't accuse us of doing what you're doing. Okay, you're actively running right now. You made a statement that Donald Trump was justified in calling for the execution of the Democrats in Congress. We want to have a conversation with you about it. Now, the last thing that you said. You just completely ignored me applying your logic to the oath in which members of the military take when joining, and how in accordance with your logic the oath in of itself is treasonous. And then you just said, oh, well, it's treasonous to advocate for people to ignore orders from the commander-in-chief. No, it's not treasonous to advocate for people to ignore all orders from the commander-in-chief. It's only treasonous to advocate for members of our military to disobey lawful orders from the commander-in-chief. The Supremacy Clause of the Second Amendment makes it clear all withholdings that follow pursuit in accordance with the jurisdiction of the United States of America must act in accordance with the Constitution, including the orders given from the President to the military. Not only is it expressly outlined in Article 2, but it's also expressly outlined in the UCMJ that straight up tells members of the military to disobey any unlawful order they're given, and if they do not disobey it, there could be consequences. All right? So stop just repeating that it's always treasonous to tell people to not follow any order given from the president because the Constitution and the UCMJ disagree. Now, if you would like to answer Parker's question, that would be great. Go ahead.
Yeah, do you think Mike Pence right, who specifically said that he should not follow Donald Trump's order to certify false slates of electors to electoral college to cast Trump votes when he did win to try to steal the election, right? Because it was a unlawful order, and that he should not follow it. And he should put the Constitution over Trump's order every time.
Not treason at all in regards to Pence. Again, going back to
literally can't tell me how that's distinct. That's like quite literally him reaffirming that you should not follow unlawful orders, and that you should put the Constitution over the president and over the anyone who's giving you an order.
Well, real quick, my opinion on the election was that it was completely fair. I just think mail-ins influenced, a heavy backswing of Democrats towards the late. So I'm maybe biased that I think, Pence was right for what he said. However, the 6 Democrats going against or telling the active duty military to ignore orders, they used the term unlawful for their own gain so that they could not be prosecuted against. I'm sure they had lawyers advising them as well. However, they're not unlawful orders. They were never ruled
Wait, so
as
then you admit that
unlawful.
it's not treason?
The Pence thing, not treason.
No.
Yes.
Wait, you can't argue that it's treason and simultaneously argue that they can't be prosecuted for anything. Because if it was treason, then they could be prosecuted for it.
Just like anything, they're going around like a Bill Belichick, breaking the rules without breaking them.
Wait. Now you're saying that they didn't break the rules because they told people to only disobey unlawful orders, but they did break the rules because if you just kind of ignore the fact that they said unlawful orders, then it could be treason given that they were lawful orders. You're an idiot.
They were insinuating lawful orders were unlawful.
Wait. How
That
did they
was
make
what
that
they were trying
insinuation?
to
Make
do.
it clear?
The timing, the release of the video.
The timing? Yeah, so sure. What
A
happened?
day
according to
after
the
Trump's
timing?
orders.
A day after
Yeah,
what order?
right after his orders.
Donald Trump gives orders to the military every day, so.
Yes, well, this was very public, very controversial.
Oh,
and they
okay.
came
So
out
what was the order?
See, this is where I don't even know.
Yeah, because remember, SCOTUS did give their opinion that he did give an illegal order to the military when he deployed the National Guard in Illinois. Federal courts gave their opinion. Donald Trump did pass and draft an illegal executive order, okay, when he passed number 14160.
Once again, the order itself, I agree with, so I'm biased. Like the Pence thing, I disagree with Trump's opinion on that, so I'm not as biased. But this, I absolutely think, order needed to be restored to those cities.
The Supreme
and I
Court
don't think
ruled that
anything
Donald
was
Trump gave
unlawful about it.
the Supreme Court shared their opinion that it was unlawful when he deployed the National Guard in Illinois.
Can I make a statement about
Do you
our
know who the
first
Supreme
topic,
Court is?
and then we can come back to this?
Do you
Just
know?
one
Do you know who
uninterrupted
the Supreme
one
Court is?
paragraph
Order
statement.
to Mike Pence was illegal. He also
guy's-
did just acknowledge that.
Fucking hell, man.
I just want to go back to the American values, free speech.
Can you acknowledge that you just said that? That you just
Say
said
that
that
again?
the order to Mike Pence was illegal?
I said the order to Mike Pence was legal. No, I said I agree with what Mike Pence was doing.
Yeah, which was not following an unlawful order, right? That's what he said. And then he
Well,
also
what was the
encouraged
unlawful
other
order?
people to do the same.
Pence only said just certify the vote, and that's that's along
Yeah.
with the United States Constitution. That's
And that was
nothing
an
wrong with that.
unlawful order, right?
No, that's not an unlawful order. He said execute
but that's what
the
he said.
duties
That's
of
what
the
Mike
American people.
Mike Pence said it was unlawful and said that he didn't listen to the order from Trump because it was unlawful. That's literally what Mike Pence says.
Trump said not to ratify the vote. Yes, that's unlawful. I mean, we voted. He lost fair and square.
So
Maybe not fair and
that's an
square.
unlawful order then, right?
That is an unlawful order. Yes.
Okay,
Oh,
so
wait,
then
that was.
Trump has given an unlawful order. And do you think that Mike Pence, given that he did not follow the unlawful order, do you think that he should be tried for treason?
Not at all.
Okay, so then the point that I
No.
would make is that if someone has literally engaged in not following unlawful orders, then they should not be held accountable. They actually, in that circumstance, would be doing their constitutional duty, right? That would make no sense to say that they're engaging in seditious behavior or even treason. That's what Trump said Mark Kelly was doing when he said that if someone is given an unlawful order that they should not follow it. That's literally what we just said in this scenario.
Our disagreement
Same
here
thing that
is
Mark
that
Kelly said.
my stance is that Senator Kelly was referring to an unlawful order as was a lawful one.
How do you know
Pence
that, though?
saying it was an unlawful order.
Wait.
I'm just saying simply in my
Wait,
opinion.
you have-
Specified order. No specified order.
Right. So, like, the issue here is, and let me be clear, please don't interrupt me either. I know that you really like to do that. Is that you have to add on your baseless opinion to the video that the Democrats in Congress made in order to justify that it might be treason. But even in your attempt to justify that it might be treason, in consideration of your baseless opinion of what they were or were not referring to, you still conceded that legally it couldn't be treason. So therefore, because they're not guilty of treason, and you acknowledge that, and, I mean, you're just adding on a bunch of baseless nonsense that, oh, well, the way that I use treason, it's not legal, it's colloquial, and if I insinuate that they were referring to an order that we would presume as being lawful, that therefore they were telling members of the military to disobey lawful orders, therefore it's treason, is bullshit. Okay? We can all agree here that Donald Trump baselessly called for their execution.
He did not call for their execution. He said that they should be arrested and put on trial.
Okay, well, I can actually tell you exactly what he said.
The outcome of treason being found guilty would be punishable by death. That's what he said.
Okay, so here's what he said. He said that this is sedition from traitors, seditious behavior punishable by death, and then he reposted, hang them George Washington would. So if I went on Instagram and I said that, let's see what your name is here, Clayton is a rapist, when in all reality you're not, you're innocent. And then I went on to say that all rapists deserve to die. And then I reposted somebody else's post on my story saying, hang Clayton because he's a rapist. All right. Would I be calling for your execution?
You'd be trying to influence it, that's for sure. But just like in every trial in America, it's a free, fair trial.
Can I just get a yes or no? Would I be calling for your execution?
No.
So you're telling me that if I went on Instagram, I said, you're fucking rapist. Rapists deserve to die. Kill Clayton because he's a rapist. I'm not calling for you to be killed. Oh, wow. See, this is like truly.
You didn't call for me to be killed. Dude. You'd be looked at as a crazy person. But I've been very patient here to get back to my original point. Can we gather back to free speech? Can we gather back to free speech? Parker wasn't here for it. I'd like his opinion on this matter as well. I've been patient.
Oh man, that's just disingenuous as fuck. Like, you know that that's not true. Like, clearly you know that if somebody called you a rapist, said rapists need to be killed, and then reposted kill fucking Clayton, that they would be calling for you to be killed. Like, for you to suggest otherwise is just disingenuous. I'm not gonna lie. Where like I draw the line at like debating super disingenuous people. So, like, at this point in time, I think I'm just going to kick you because that's super disingenuous.
Well, I want to go back to the free speech. I'll admit, you're right. You would be calling for my death there. Sure.
Okay. So, therefore, Donald Trump called for their death because he said, okay, this is sedition from traitors, accusing them of sedition, accusing them of being treacherous when in all reality they weren't. He then said that this sedition is punishable by death, and then he went on to repost, kill them, hang them, right? So, like, clearly, if in the hypothetical, I'd be calling for your death.
What they did
in the real world, Donald Trump called for their death, right?
If found guilty on it, then he believed, yes, they should be killed. Yes.
Wait, no. This is like saying in the hypothetical, I wasn't calling for your death because, right, you haven't been found guilty of rape yet. Okay, but the reason why that doesn't change the fact that I was calling for your death in the real world in the use of this hypothetical is because it doesn't matter if not you're a rapist. It doesn't matter if a court has or has not concluded that you're a rapist. I called you a rapist. Okay, then I followed me calling you a rapist up by saying rapists deserve to die. And then I followed that up.
In that scenario, yes, he called for their death. Yes.
Right. So exactly, that's what you have to say about like Donald Trump too. He called for their execution.
Yes.
So now we get to the point.
Call for their execution.
And now we get the concession that Donald Trump is an insurmountable threat to free speech because he's calling for Democrats in Congress to be executed over what they say.
Because he believes they're committing treason. Okay. I'm getting back to the point where the American people were not allowed to say what they wanted, and they would be taken
You're saying
off
because he believes that they're committing treason. A, we don't know if he holds that opinion because of how baseless it truly is. But B, I wouldn't doubt that he does because of how fucking insanely delusional he is. He's also reposted articles on Truth Social saying that Biden was killed and replaced with a robotic clone. But I want to let you know that it doesn't matter what he believes or not. What matters if what he believes or not is true or has a base, which it doesn't. Right? Like in that hypothetical where I go on Instagram and I say, you're a rapist, rapists deserve to die, kill this guy. Okay. It doesn't matter if I genuinely believe or don't believe that you're a rapist. All that matters is if you actually are a rapist or if I actually have good reason to believe you're a rapist. Right?
I agree with you. First off, you don't have to keep muting me. I'm patient. I'll let you talk. Secondly, yes, he called for their death. If so facto, if that's how you want to play it, yes, I agree. He called for their death. He also called them traitors first. If you're a traitor, you should be executed. If you're accused of treason, you should be executed.
What I'm
saying is, I want to bring it back to the free speech conversation.
Do you agree that rapists deserve to die?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so therefore, me calling you a rapist, then saying that you deserve to die is justified because you think rapists deserve to die, even though you're not actually a rapist and I have no evidence of that.
But once again, it's words. It's not action.
Right. This is the same thing. Okay, that is true of like what Donald Trump did on Truth Social in relation to these Democratic congressmen and women. Right. Like you're agreeing that he called for their death, but then you're adding on there. Well, like it is true that if you are guilty of treason, that you deserve to die. Okay, that doesn't matter. All that matters is were they? Did they commit treason? Do we have any good reason to believe that? And we don't. So therefore, it's him basically calling for their execution. And now you're saying, it's just words. It is words from the most powerful man alive on the planet. I would actually argue here that words from the president of the United States of America amount to an action because they can cause a reaction just like a material action from anybody else. The reaction to Donald Trump calling for these people's execution, was them having to up their security and not go outside because they're getting spammed with 1 billion phone calls a day from Trump supporters saying that they're going to be hunted down and they're going to have to watch their children get slowly bled out in front of them and their wife scraped. Okay, right? Like you're saying, it's just words. Yes, words from the most powerful person alive matter. Okay, and it is those words that do amount to a threat against free speech in our Constitution because now everyone else in Congress knows that if they speak out against Trump, Donald Trump might just turn around and say that they deserve to die, which could actually lead to their death at the hand of a crazy Trump supporter. So now they are significantly less likely to speak out against the tyranny, the dictatorial nonsense, and the fascism and human rights abuse that we see at behest of the Trump administration because of those words that apparently don't matter, according to you, that were shared by Donald Trump on Truth Social 10 weeks ago. Words
sure, just
matter,
give me
bro.
30 seconds. Look, give me 30 seconds. Absolutely correct. Words from the most powerful person on the planet could have an impact. But my argument would be is everything is public. Everything is for the public to perceive. Everything is for the public to then vote on in the next elections. What the Biden-Harris administration did was working.
I'm sorry.
With,
no. I'll allow you to take it back to Biden once we're done on this topic. I'm not going to let you use Biden as a pivot in the middle of the conversation. Now you're attempting to further excuse Donald Trump's execution, call for the execution of Democrats in Congress by saying that they were words for the public to see. That is exactly what makes them meaningful. The fact that this is something that was public, that everybody could read, that everybody formed an opinion on, that likely led over half of our country to the opinion that there are Democrats in Congress who need to get fucking killed is exactly what makes it wrong as wrong as it is. And by the way, you're saying that muting is a sign of weakness. I will absolutely mute you if you attempt to reshuffle this into a conversation about Biden. I've already told you that I will happily talk to you about Biden as soon as we are done with this specific point. However, I will not allow you to use Biden as a deflection away from this specific point. You literally just half-ass some terrible retort to the argument provided by saying, it was public, therefore it's good, or something like that, even though the fact that it's public is what makes it super duper bad. And then they're like, but Biden and Harris. So before you go, but Biden and Harris, I want you to acknowledge the fact that it was public is not a defense of the action that somehow makes it better, but rather what makes it as bad as it is.
I won't go back. I'll stay here. We could hopefully wrap this up and then go back. Trump's action is public. He is calling for them to be tried for treason, and if they are found guilty, then executed. Again, it's words. Those actions would have to come to fruition. He's not doing any action. He's not enforcing the trial. All he is putting it out there for the public to perceive. And that is what the American people love about him. When his debate with Hillary, they talked about taxes. He said, your friends are taking advantages of the same tax deductions that I take advantage of. Of course they're using them. That resonated with people. It's truth. It's truth brought out into the open, just like this point. It's like, hey, I think they're being treasonous. I think they should be killed for that. It's out there for the public to perceive. Whether that's right, wrong, it's here for perception. And that's true, real leadership. does the majority of
true real leadership is to call for your political opponents to be executed. This is exactly why the Nazi Party had a very high approval rating in Germany. This is exactly why historical dictators like Mussolini had some level of social support before it all came to an end. It's because there's humans that are alive today and humans that have existed historically that want fascism, that want dictatorships, and just desire grave immoralities. I cannot believe that you were legitimately sitting here telling me one of the things that makes Donald Trump a great president is the fact that he wants to literally kill his political opponents. You are insane.
That's an insane jump that you can even draw there. Okay. He's putting out there in public for the public to perceive. I'm going to go back because I should, and I've been patient. The Biden-Harris administration was behind closed doors to censor American.
No, I want you to respond to my point first. Before you go, but Biden, I want you to respond to my point first, please. Thank you.
I have. I keep responding.
The point that you haven't addressed is my latest rebuttal to your last statement, that it's actually a good thing that the president wants to kill his political opponents, and he told us all.
It's not his political opponents. He wants to kill people that have committed an act of treason.
But they didn't commit an act of treason, and there's no grounding for that. There's
not
no
going for everybody.
There's no evidence for the claim that they committed treason. Therefore, it's him basically calling for the execution of his political opponents.
No, he called them treasonous, and if convicted, then should be executed.
Oh, wait, you're already walking back what you conceded on earlier. Earlier, you conceded that if I went on Instagram, called you a rapist, said rapists deserve to die, then said you deserve to die, that regardless if you actually are or are not a rapist, regardless if there is or is not evidence for the claim that you're a rapist,
he doesn't want them killed without trial.
I'm calling for their execution the either way.
He doesn't want them killed without trial.
Well, how do you know that?
Because he said it. It's in a statement that you just read.
In the statement that I just read, where does he say that he wants them killed without a trial? That he only wants
seditious behavior by traitors claiming it was punishable by death and calling for lawmakers to be arrested and put on trial.
Oh, wait. So now I'm really confused because what you just said is punishable by death and then said hang them. If you would only want them killed following a trial, then he would have said hang them if they're guilty.
See, now you're getting a little ridiculous.
I think that you're getting ridiculous because you're saying he only wants them killed given that it goes through trial. No, and the dispute for that claim would be, if that was true, then he wouldn't just repose hang them. Okay, he would repose something along the lines of hang them given that they're guilty because he's already pre-assuming guilt prior to the trial. And by the way, there will be no trial, okay, for treason against these individuals because there's not sufficient evidence in order to support an indictment against them because they're not guilty of treason. There's no trial for if they're guilty of treason or not. I don't need a court to determine that you can't walk on water the same way we don't need a court to determine that they didn't engage in treason. Right? And then for you to attempt to contort that into an argument that this is one of the reasons why the American people love Donald Trump, because he's willing just to tell everybody how he wants his political opponents executed, is exactly the problem with MAGA. You'll say you love Donald Trump because he's so honest about the fact that he fucking hates black people and thinks that they're monkeys after he posts a picture depicting the Obama's apes. Oh, he's
black
so honest.
People
and we
voted for
him
in the largest outcome in any Republican in history.
Oh, and that's true. But what the fuck does that change about anything that I said? What does the fact that there was the largest black turnout for voting for a Republican candidate in American history, that therefore it wasn't racist when he depicted the Obamas as apes?
Wait.
It's up to them to decide if he's racist, and if they voted for him.
Wait. Pause.
All right, you first.
You just said if black people don't perceive him as racist, that means he's not racist.
Yes.
If black people do perceive him as racist, does that mean that he is racist?
Yeah.
So black people do perceive him as racist, therefore he is racist.
No, we're going back to the same thing, but how the voters voted.
Oh my god. This is, oh my god. 83% of African Americans say that Trump is racist. New poll. A new Washington Post IPSOS poll finds 83% of African Americans across the country believe that Donald Trump is a racist and has exacerbated the country's race problems while in office. Let's actually
now show me the stats on the relative voting.
Yeah. Wait, 1 second. I'm so sorry. Be quiet.
That is
I'm so sorry.
Unbelievable.
I'm so sorry. Be quiet. Let's just take a look at this real quick. Washington Post poll. Then here's the poll, like from the Washington Post.
You didn't let me finish my point. On a relative basis.
Oh yeah, this is so I just want to clarify. Can you now concede that you think Donald Trump is racist because 83% of black people in America think that Donald Trump is racist, and you said if a vast majority of black people think that Donald Trump is racist, then Donald Trump is racist.
relatively to how they voted previously, they have never voted in larger numbers for a Republican candidate.
That doesn't change the fact that 83% of black people think that he's racist. Therefore, he is
by
racist.
The Washington Post.
It doesn't matter. Therefore, he's racist, right? The Washington Post that's owned by the Murdoch family that runs Fox News, right?
You can ask how many people think.
Wait, now you're walking it back. Wait, 1 second. Go on mute.
I'm saying,
hey, Parker, did this guy tell you that if black people think Trump is racist, then Trump is racist?
On a
Parker?
Relatively.
Yes.
He did? How about we just like roll back in the VOD real quick just to listen to him say,
hey, Parker, if black people perceive Trump as not being racist, that means that they're not racist. So I said, if black people perceive Trump as being racist, does that mean that he's racist? And he said, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm just going to go and play it back in the VOD so we can all be clear on exactly what he said.
I did
Parker,
say
if you'd help us out here by like putting on mute, I'd really appreciate that just while I'm rolling through the VOD. Thank you.
Without breaking them. People think...
Wait, now you're walking it back. Washington Post...
Black people don't perceive him as racist, that means he's not racist.
Yes.
If black people do perceive him as racist, does that mean that he is racist?
Yeah.
You said, and I quote, if black people perceive Donald Trump as racist, then Donald Trump is racist.
I was going to
one moment, I'm almost done. And here is a poll that shows
at a relative scale.
Dude, just be quiet for 1 second. That 83% of black people think that Donald Trump is racist.
You're repeating yourself. Can I go for 1 interrupted minute?
Yeah, sure. Just know that in accordance with your argument, you have to now concede that Donald Trump is racist.
Let me go for 1 minute, and then we'll see what happens. Fair?
Yeah, go ahead.
Black people voted for Donald Trump relatively at a higher percentage for him in this election than any Republican candidate in history. I was going to say, if more black people perceive him as racist, at scale, comparable to how they perceived him in the past, then yes, I would agree he's racist. If people thought he was more racist now than they did before, I would say yes, he must be trending towards racist policies or PR or whatever. However he comes off, he's racist then. But they have not. He was president prior, and now he ran for president again, and he got more of the black vote than any Republican in history.
What percentage of black people voted for Trump?
So they do not think that he's racist on a relative basis.
What percentage of black people voted for Trump?
25%. Less than 50%.
Wrong. 15% of black people voted for Donald Trump in the 2024 election.
Yeah, black males was 28, black women was...
83% of black people voted for Harris in the last election. And by the way, this whole relative bullshit, literally no one watching the live understands what the hell you're trying to say because you're just throwing different words at the wall, seeing which ones will stick, but ultimately none of them did. Okay? No one fucking understands what the hell your excuse here is by saying on a relative basis, if more people didn't or do this thing somehow, this means opinions of black people, Trump is racist or not racist at all, right? It's just like a weak excuse that you're trying to come up with that doesn't make sense because you accidentally said that if black people think that Donald Trump is racist, then Donald Trump is racist. I showed you a poll that indicates the same percentage of people that voted for Harris in the last election, 83% of black people, think that Donald Trump is racist. So therefore, I'm just going to have to go ahead and have you concede here, okay, that Donald Trump is racist. And this whole excuse of saying more black people voted for this Republican compared to any other Republican in history doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't change anything.
Is that true, though?
Because point number one, the overall percentage of black people that voted for Donald Trump is 15%, which still only accounts for an incredibly small minority, including only a portion of the black people in America
a real fact.
that don't think Donald Trump is racist. So therefore, because an overwhelming amount of black people, 85% of them did not vote for Trump in the last election, and an overwhelming amount of black people, 83% of them, think that Donald Trump is racist. Therefore, in accordance with your argument, Donald Trump is racist.
He got the largest black vote of any Republican candidate in history. If you are racist or perceived racist, that does not happen. Well,
your argument here doesn't matter because that black vote was still only 15%.
Okay,
A
I'm gonna
very
leave if I
small
keep getting
minority of
muted
all
on
black
every
people.
point. You keep cutting me off halfway through what I want to say.
Well,
I've
I'm
been
just
patient. I
describing
stop
to you how your
talking all
view
the
is
time.
wrong. Listen, man, if it was like following here that like, oh, like a lot of black people voted for Donald Trump in the last election, a majority of black people voted for Donald Trump in the last election, then I could like see how this would be your excuse insofar as why you won't concede that Donald Trump is racist after looking at that poll that says 83% of black people think that Trump is racist. In accordance with the argument, if black people think something is racist, then it is racist.
In a poll by the Washington
that
Post,
highest level of black people ever voting for a Republican is still yet 15%, only a fraction of the reported amount of black people that don't think Trump is racist in accordance with the poll that I showed you, it doesn't matter, and it doesn't amount to a refutation to the position that in accordance with your logic, you have to concede that Trump is racist.
so why would black people vote for him more than any other Republican candidate in history? Explain to me how that could happen.
Explain to me how you're arguing that you will agree that something is racist if black people think that it's racist, but you're somehow arguing otherwise because you think that 15%
Because they believe
is larger
Trump has
than
their
83%.
best interests at heart.
Wait, I have a question.
That's why.
I have a question. What's larger, 15% or 85%?
What's larger, 15% or 5%?
Answer my question. What's larger, 15% or 85%?
The majority of black people.
No. I want you to answer my question. What is larger, 15% or 85%?
I'm going to leave if I keep getting muted.
Yeah, feel free to run away. That's fine. But what's larger, 15% or 85%? And by the way, I will mute you if you don't answer my question. What's larger? Go ahead.
I'm not going to fall to your.
Oh no, I'm gonna have you answer my question,
BS.
please. What is larger, 15% or 85%?
85% is larger.
Okay, so explain to me
now?
how if Trump wasn't racist, 85% of black people wouldn't vote for Trump.
Because black people vote for the Democrat candidate at a larger proportion than they did for Trump.
Oh, okay, got it. And remember when you said that if black people think that something or somebody is racist, that therefore it is racist? So now how do you consolidate the fact that 83% of black people voted, 83% of black people do think that Donald Trump is racist, and 85% of black people did not vote for Donald Trump with the original
They
statement
don't
that
think
Donald
he's
Trump is not
racist
racist,
because
but
they
he would
vote
be
for the
black people thought he
Democrat
was.
nominee every single time. You're going to lose your audience by repeating yourself. This is an easy point. They voted for him as a Republican candidate in the highest percentage that they have ever voted for a Republican candidate in the history of the United States of America.
But what you're failing to understand here is that when that percentage still only accounts for a small minority, it does nothing in changing the fact that you have to acknowledge that Donald Trump is racist, because you said if a lot of black people think that something or someone is racist, that therefore they are, in consideration of the poll that demonstrates 83% of black Americans think Trump is racist.
I live in the state of New Jersey. He received 43% of the vote. That is less than the majority, but he performed better here than any Republican has since after 2001. That is a big deal. And we have a high black population.
Acknowledge what I said. Acknowledge what I said, please. You are arguing, okay, once again, that if black people think that somebody or something is racist, that therefore that somebody or something is racist. How can you argue?
Proportionally.
Okay.
Proportionally.
What do you even mean by proportionally?
Were born and thought he was racist for no reason.
What percentage?
If
What
they
percentage
continue
of
to believe,
what percentage of black people have to think that something or somebody is racist in order for it to be racist in accordance with your view?
it's the change of perception over time. So you have your baseline percentage. If that grows or reduces, that'll show if he's racist or not.
Wait, why does that show? Why does that show if he's racist or not?
Taught and indoctrinated to be told that he's racist, and over time.
Wait, so the reason why you do not actually give any credit to the 83% of black people that do think Trump is racist is because you think that they believe so falsely. But the moment you're able to tokenize even one fucking black person that does not think that Donald Trump is racist, you use that as the crux of your position to argue that the guy who got sued for violating the Civil Rights Act by refusing to rent to black people, the guy that called for the death penalty for the exonerated Central Park 5, the guy that depicted black people as monkeys and apes, okay, the guy that is now allowing ICE to racially profile people if they're black and brown, okay, the guy that is illegally deporting immigrants after saying that the poison in the blood of our country to be tortured in another country and then defending it by calling them gang members with no evidence is not racist. Like, come on, bro. Like, clearly your argument here doesn't track, and it's just like a hogwash of nonsense, gibberish. Honestly, I'm going to be honest here. Racism! You are using, okay, a small percentage of black people's blackness against black people in furtherance of an argument that will ultimately tantamount to a larger social level of social acceptance of racism.
I have no idea what you said in that last sentence. That didn't even make sense.
Too many words for him. Too many words. I have to get off.
Well,
team.
you said your people couldn't understand proportion, so that's pretty crazy.
Appreciate
He didn't misunderstand proportion. He just misunderstood how you were trying to fit that into the certain situation.
I explained it several times. I'm not going to do that for your audience sake. They'll probably get bored. But I do want to go back to free speech.
No, I want you to concede that you think that
belief-
Donald Trump is racist.
I came up here to talk free speech.
Do you
and I have
agree?
not yet to.
You're running away. Do you agree that it was racist when Donald Trump depicted black people as monkeys?
He didn't depict black people as monkeys. If you want to talk about this, I could do this. But then can we go to free speech?
I want you to answer the question. And you're saying that he didn't depict black people as monkeys. Yeah,
He
that's what
didn't.
posted.
It was the start of a video that he didn't put out. And the video itself was about something completely different.
Wait. You're saying like the longer video with all the other people is all the other animals?
Yeah.
Yeah. So first
No.
In that longer video
No.
with all the other people, it's all the other animals. There's still clearly some connection / connotation between the person and what animal they were represented as. Like for instance, in that video, Harry Sisson was depicted as a pink flamingo, and Olivia Giuliani. That might be your last name, was depicted as a pig. Okay, clearly the reason why inside of that video Harry Sisson was depicted as the pink flamingo is because a lot of people on the right like to argue that Harry Sisson is super fucking gay, right? And clearly the reason why Olivia Giuliani was depicted as a pig is because Olivia Giuliani is overweight, and a bunch of really bad being fatphobic bigots will like say that overweight people are pigs. So there was some type of connection here in between the person and the animal in which they were represented as. So what was the connection between the depiction of two black people as gorillas?
That wasn't his video.
It was the video that he posted.
He didn't post it. Some admin did, and that was the beginning of it was like a reel. It was
Donald Trump said that he sent the video
posted
to somebody else to post.
Yeah, but that was not the video that was posted. There was like 3 seconds of that whole ape.
I know, which only makes it worse because he only took the 3 seconds depicting the black people as gorillas, not the white people as iguanas and flamingos.
His
right?
algorithm showed him a comedic video of whatever that was. I don't even know, but that's not what he wanted to send. That was the beginning of a full reel. It was something else.
If it's not what he wanted to post, then he wouldn't have posted it.
He didn't post it.
Yes, he did. That was on his Truth Social account.
The video itself, it was 2 videos in one. And there was
and
3
he posted
seconds
both
of that
of them.
8 video.
He posted both of them. I don't know what to tell you. He absolutely
in one
posted
video. It was a mistake.
Wait, how do you know it was a mistake? How do you know it was a mistake? Wait, actually,
I think your argument would be better served that was on his algorithm at all. You know, I mean, did he want to post that specifically? No.
Wait. How do you know it was a mistake? How do you know it was a mistake?
That would be a better argument.
Wait, I just want to clarify. Are you now arguing that the president doesn't look at what he posts before he posts it?
He didn't post it, 1, and 2. It was 2 videos combined into one video.
Wait, so are you now arguing that the president doesn't? Nobody looks at what is posted on the president's social media account.
Okay, well, here's actually a great example of
no. Answer my question. Are you arguing that nobody checks what is posted on the president's social media account? Just whatever is posted on the president's social media account, whenever. Nobody even fucking looks at it. Oh, okay.
Since this Iran stuff, I've been loving what's going on there. It's kind of funny and.
Okay. So what's the argument here? Are you arguing that somebody on Donald Trump's staff posted that super racist depiction of Barack and Michelle Obama as gorillas, unbeknownst to Trump?
The video itself, there were 2 videos in one. The Barack ape video with the Harry Sisson and the pig and all of that was a video in itself, but only 3 seconds of that video was shown in the post that had that in it.
Which made it more racist
videos.
because it only showed the black people as apes, which just makes it more racist.
If I were you, I would say it's racist that he...
No, respond to what I'm saying here. You're not answering my question, so I'm just going to go and ask you the very direct question. Did anybody know that they were posting a depiction of black people as apes on Donald Trump's social media account? Yes or no?
No, they meant to post a different video. 3 seconds.
So I just want to clarify here that things are posted on the president's social media account, unbeknownst to anyone.
Let's go through the facts here. How many seconds of that video?
Answer the question. So your argument is things are posted on the president's social media accounts, unbeknownst to anybody.
I'm answering your question. Can you please stop muting me?
I'm muting you because you're not answering the question I'm asking you.
He posted a video.
He won't answer,
in that video.
Answer the question. So are you arguing that things will be posted on the president's social media accounts, unbeknownst to anyone?
If you have to keep muting me, it shows that you have the weaker argument.
Nope.
Why don't you just let me
What it
say I
shows
wanna-
is that I'm upholding my boundaries here, and that if you don't answer the question that I'm asking you, then I will mute you and ask it again until you do. So once again, are you arguing here that nobody knew what was being posted on the president's social media account? Yes or no?
You're going to keep muting me until I say what you want me to say? Who's
Just
that
until you
sound
answer the question, please.
I am answering the question in a full, complete answer.
Okay, can I get a yes
There was
or no?
a video posted. There was a video posted.
Can I just get a yes or
3
no? Are you
seconds
saying
of
that
that
there are
video.
things posted on the president's social media account unbeknownst to anyone?
3 seconds of that video are about the video that you're referencing. The rest of that video,
One answer, Brad.
the remaining seconds, were a completely different video.
Oh, yeah, what was that different video, by the way?
I don't even remember because obviously it wasn't as polarizing.
Oh yeah,
But-
well, I mean, it was actually saying that China hacked into our voting machines with fraudulently placed Taiwanese chips.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That were
That was supposed to be
communicating
posted.
with
3
Italian
seconds.
satellites, right? So now, please
Yes,
answer the
but
question
see,
that I've tried to
that-
ask you a couple times. Did anybody watch the video all the way through?
So what was
Answer the
point?
question. Did anybody watch the video all the way through?
This is again why it's such a topic, because clearly
Did anybody
he didn't
watch
mean
the
to
video
post
all the way
both
through?
in one. He didn't mean
Did
to post
anybody
both in
watch
one.
the video all the way through?
Yes, I did. That's how I'm talking about it.
No, the people who
He didn't
posted
mean to
it.
post both
Did
in one.
any-
One
did
had 3
anybody
seconds of
did
content,
anybody in
and the other was
association
the
with
rest
Trump,
of the
his White
minute.
House, or his staffers watch the video all the way through? Yes or no?
After it was posted or before? What are you trying to say?
Before it was posted.
Yes, they were probably trying to post the China video, but
Oh,
3 seconds of the
wait,
other video
wait,
snuck
so
in
you-
there by mistake, almost
Wait,
like a VHS. I don't know
it
how the hell
wasn't
that
by
happened,
mistake.
to be honest.
It wasn't by mistake because you just acknowledged that whoever posted it watched the video all the way through, meaning that they recognized that it included a racist depiction of Barack and Michelle Obama's monkeys, and they left it in. Therefore, it was intentional.
Okay, you are exhausting because you just admitted that that wasn't the intent of the video to be posted. It was the China voting machines.
Wow. So now you think that me pointing out
there's
another
no
thing
one in the
inside of
administration
video?
that would post two completely.
Well, because I pointed out something else inside of the video, therefore means the second thing wasn't intentional.
No,
so
they would
apparently
never-
now you can't post a video that's about more than one thing. But once again, I want you to concede now because you just recognized that whoever posted that video watched it all the way through. Okay, which means they saw the black people depicted as monkeys and they left it in. Okay, which then makes it intentional. They intentionally posted a racist depiction of Barack and Michelle Obama as gorillas, and then defended it through Caroline Levitt, saying that it wasn't racist and that there's other things that we should be worrying about more.
They posted a racist video depicting Michelle and Barack Obama as apes. Can we talk about free speech now, which is why I came up here?
Okay, so you agree that they intentionally posted a racist caricature?
I agree.
of
It was
black
fully
people's monkeys.
intentional. They want to show the ex-president as a monkey and an ape. That's what they were trying to do. The China voting thing was,
Okay, so then you
a
can see that
distraction.
Trump is racist?
No.
Wait, are you saying that non-racist people can intentionally depict black people as monkeys?
He didn't post it.
He said that he sent it to a staffer who did.
He sent the China voting machine video.
Oh, so Trump didn't watch
We're just
the
going to
video
keep
all the
going
way
in
through.
circles. This isn't
Wait.
stimulating.
So Trump didn't watch the video all the way through? Is that your position?
I'm trying to move on.
Wait, I just want to clarify. Is that your
position?
position that Trump didn't watch the video all the way through?
He wanted the Chinese voting machine
Wait,
video
just answer my
posted.
question. Is your position that Donald Trump did not watch the video all the way through?
That's my position.
Okay, that's your position.
we
that
talk
he didn't-
about free
that he
speech
didn't-
now?
That he didn't watch the video all the way through. How do you know that Donald Trump didn't watch the video all the way through?
I don't.
Okay,
How do
so
you
then
know
why do
he
you believe
did?
it? Wait. No, answer the question. Because you said it is your position that Donald Trump didn't watch the video all the way through. Then I asked you for evidence for that claim and you couldn't give me anything. So just
Because
to
if
clarify,
he wanted
you
to
believe
show-
in things without evidence?
If he wanted to show that video, he would have shown more than 3 seconds of it. If he wanted to show the other one, he would have showed it without the ape distraction. So he wanted to post one of the two videos.
Why would he show more than? Why would he
They were
show more than
combined
3
into one.
seconds? Why would he show more than 3 seconds? Because those were the 3 seconds that depicted Obama as a monkey. And by the way, this isn't his first time being racist to Obama either. Remember when he argued that Obama wasn't born here because he was black?
The biggest argument here is that black people voted for him more than any Republican in history. You keep going on these fucking pandering
Yes,
rants.
now you're saying that because 15% of black people voted for Trump, that therefore Trump isn't racist, even if he depicts black people as monkeys,
Which is more than
even
any
if he
other
argues that
Republican
black people can't be born here, even if he violates the Civil Rights Act and doesn't rent to black people because they're black,
All
so
right,
on and
I'm
so
not going to
forth.
get to the.
So if 15% of women supported anti-suffragette movements in the 1920s, would you argue that refusing to give the right to vote to women was not misogynistic?
You're going to suffrage, and I just want to go to free speech
Because
and
it's a
you
parallel
just
of the
keep
argument in which you're
transitioning.
providing. It's a parallel of the argument in which you're providing.
Will
It's a
I be
logical
allowed
comparison
to
here that I'm
talk
making.
free speech? Because you
1 second, Brett. You're running away. You're running away. Respond to the position.
I'm trying to go back to the original.
Respond to the position. Okay, you just attempted to argue that. Well,
I'm not
regardless
going to
of
go to another topic
listen.
without
It's not
going to
another
the
topic.
original point I came
It's
up
not
here
another
for.
topic. It's
Are
not
you
another
afraid to
topic.
debate free speech? Yes or no?
You're afraid to finish the debate out about racism. It's not another topic. It is a logical parallel in which I'm making to demonstrate the absurdity of your argument here. You are rejecting the notion that Trump is racist, regardless of the evidence in which it exists, like posting a depiction of black people as monkeys, arguing that black people can't be born here, like he did with Obama, the 1977 lawsuit for not renting to black people, and then your only refutation is to say, well, guess what? 15% of black people voted for him, therefore he couldn't possibly be racist. So answer my question. If 15% of women did support anti-suffragette movements in the 1920s aimed at preventing women from getting the right to vote, would you therefore argue that preventing women from getting the right to vote is not misogynistic?
I was muted. You're going to misogynistic and women's voting rights, and I came up here to talk about free speech. You are moving to a new topic.
What's the connection?
You're
It's not a new topic because there's a connection. It's not a new topic. Listen to my words. It's not me going to another topic because of what connects the two themes. What connects the two themes would be your application of your logic, an application of your logic in another scenario to see if it tests and holds. It's what is called the Socratic method, where we're using absurdities to drill down your position to hopefully entail a contradiction. Okay, that's what we're trying to do here. So I'm going to now drill your position down with absurdities to hopefully entail a contradiction because you'll affirm your logic in one scenario but not the other. And the way in which I'm doing that is by drawing a relevant comparison here to women supporting anti-suffragette movements in the 20s, because in accordance with your position, it's very clear here, if 15% of women supported anti-suffragette movements in the 1920s, then refusing to give women the right to vote was not sexist because 15% of women supported it. In the same way you're arguing that regardless of what Donald Trump does, then Donald Trump is not racist because 15% of black people support him.
People can vote against their own interests all the time. It happens every election. And
that's what I'd argue is happening with the 15% of black people that voted for Trump.
I know that's your argument. That's why I'm addressing it. You win. I'm going to talk about it. Yes, people could vote against their own interests. That doesn't, causation is not correlation. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. However, in this instance, if black people voted for him at a larger percentage than in history when he was already president once prior, that shows either they think he's racist and he's still the better choice, or he's not racist. Either one is bad for the Democratic Party and shows why people still support him. To go to the women's free vote and suffrage, I'm not going to go to a new topic. Please, can we talk about free speech, or I'll just leave.
I'm so sorry, bro. You're saying that you're not going to go to a new topic to not address the analogy that's being made as it would be relevant towards women's suffragette movements. However, the reason why that is an analogy and which is incredibly relevant, and of course he ran away, is because it is me mirroring your logic, okay? But of course, he'll never know because he just left. So that's how you absolutely stomp on a Trump supporter that uses absolutely slop moronic logic to try to justify the guy that refused to rent to black people is not racist. And then they inevitably run away because it's slop moronic logic that makes no fucking sense. Like, dude, I'm sorry that your positions are baseless and make no sense. That is your fault, not mine. I'm merely the one exposing it. But the little crybaby ran away. So here's what we're gonna do at this point in time. Around an hour ago, we unfortunately did get a restriction on the stream, so we gotta restart it right now. This will not impact anybody watching on YouTube. This will only impact the people watching on TikTok. Here's how to come back following the restart. Feel free to hit that follow button in the top left-hand corner of the phone screen. That will ensure that after the restart, which only takes 5 seconds, by the way, this live will appear in your following list. Now, the way that you could come back even quicker following the restart is once the live ends, it'll say live has ended. Then it will show you my profile picture. If you click on that profile picture, it will divert you to my account page. If you count to 10 or 15 and then refresh the account page, you'll be able to click into the new live. Once again, the actual restart only takes 5 seconds. Then it takes another 5 to 10 seconds to resend out and populate on your feed. So I'll see you all here very momentarily. momentarily. When we get back in here, spam the likes, spam the shares, repost it. Y'all already know.